Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues. My name is Rikus Delport. I'm the Director for Institutional Advancement at the University of Pretoria, and it's my honor and pleasure to welcome you here today. I want to thank you before I introduce you to the panel this morning that's going to take you through the proceedings this morning. Thank you for the role you have played, for the significant contribution you have made in assisting our students and supporting the University of Pretoria. Without you, this would not have been possible. This is our first donor appreciation webinar for the year, and on behalf of the University of Pretoria, my department, I would like to thank you for everything and for contributing and for being here today. Without further delay, I'm going to introduce you to the members of our panel. We first have our Professor Tawana Kupe, the Vice-Chancellor and Principal of the University, and someone who's really passionate about fundraising and who would go out of his way to make sure that we have sufficient funds available to assist the university and its student community. Our second panelist is Mr. Hassan Skaf, a former student of the university, currently an actuarial analyst at the Investment and Direct Distribution at Liberty Group South Africa. Second panelist, Ms. Lebogang Mnguni, a graduate trainee at the Development Bank of South Africa. And then our own colleague, Ms. Gugu Inenacho, Senior Assistant Director, Financial Aid. And last, Mr. Boris Wamba, a current student, fourth-year medical student at University of Pretoria. They're going to tell you more about the impact that your donation have made on their lives. And thank you for that again. And without delaying it any further, Prof. Tawana Kupe.
Greetings to you all, colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased that after almost 20 months of the havoc wreaked globally by the COVID-19 pandemic, we are able to be together, albeit virtually, for the Staff Donor Appreciation event. I'd like to acknowledge Professor Caroline Nicholson, the Registrar, Professor Elsa Biskuman, the Dean of the Faculty of Law, the top law school in Africa and South Africa, Professor Chika Sehole, Dean, Faculty of Education. This event is one that I have as a special place in my heart for because it is a strong reminder of the community we have built at the University of Pretoria. This event is almost importantly about you, the individuals who are the backbone of this institution, members of staff. One of our roles as a leading research-intensive and future-focused institution is to produce graduates that not only excel in their chosen fields of study and profession, but are also able to go out into communities and be able to use their skills to contribute meaningfully to the growth and development of this country, our continent, and any other place in the world that takes them. A challenge that may make this dream slightly unattainable is access to higher education. With South Africa being one of the countries in the world with the highest Gini coefficient, that means the gap between those who are rich and poor, the gap between the rich and poor is getting larger, and for some, a degree or some form of tertiary education remains a dream. The COVID-19 pandemic has also exacerbated this challenge, with this country's unemployment rate currently sitting at 34.4% in the second quarter of 2021, according to figures released by Stats SA. This is where, ladies and gentlemen, you come in. Your efforts, donating in various ways to the establishment of different grants and bursaries, has been the perfect example of leading from the front to contribute to solving the student funding crisis. For example, between the period of 2019 and 2021, we've had about 244 staff donors contributing to the various projects on campus. Some staff donors to more than one project. These contributions amounted to more than 1 million rand. To break it down to a year-by-year basis, before the pandemic in 2019, 147 staff members contributed about 203,000 rand to various projects. In 2020, the first year of the pandemic, 262 staff members contributed about 510,000 rand towards various projects, with the Solidarity Fund taking center stage. And in 2021, 125 members contributed about 315,000 rand to various campus projects, including student bursaries. Before we continue, I wish to take a moment to thank you all for these very kind donations. You have shown that despite the emotional hardship that you may have faced, especially at the height of the pandemic and the national lockdown, you have internalized the spirit of Ubuntu, putting into action our broader goal of ensuring that no student is left behind. Thank you, colleagues. The most supported projects were the Tax General Scholarship Fund, Cheryl Dilaray Fund, UP Solidarity Fund, and Alma Mater. I'm also proud to share that many of you heeded my call last year to contribute towards the UP Solidarity Fund. It is because of your generosity of spirit that we were able to support several students with laptops and data to be able to access online education. With the funds that were raised from the various staff donations, the university managed to assist 50 plus students with full scholarships between 2020 and 21. Over the last year, you, UP staff, have helped raise a combined 965,595 rand towards student bursaries in 2020-2021 period. The Cheryl Dilaray Scholarship Fund, Tax Scholarship General Fund received about 630,000 rand, while 330,000 was donated to the Solidarity Fund. These funds were donated by current staff members, alumni, and other external stakeholders. It is your donations and contributions that enable us to address the student funding crisis and avoid the annual student protests that take place at the beginning of every academic year because of the frustration and helplessness that students feel at not being able to continue with their studies due to not being able to afford it. With me in studio, I'm joined by 4 special guests and most importantly, the faces behind the truly impressive numbers I've just shared with you. These are current and former students who benefited from the generosity of staff and other donors, Mr. Hassan Skaf and Ms. Lebohang Mguni between 2018 and 2020, and Mr. Boris Wemba is one of the 2021 recipients. I hope when you hear them speak later on, you will realize just how truly significant your contributions are. As you are aware, we are currently meeting virtually because of the limits imposed upon us by the COVID-19 pandemic. Over the last few months, we've been able to successfully transition to a more online offering for our students. While it was not without its challenges, it was a successful endeavor and we managed to complete the academic year accordingly. This, however, opened up a world of possibilities for us as institutions of higher education. From the opportunity to give more research and academics the opportunity to interact with their peers from all corners of the globe, something that would traditionally be a challenge due to financial constraints, to working towards creating joint qualifications from institutions on opposite parts of the globe that can be completed online, the list is truly endless. It is my firm belief that imagining a post-COVID future will require us to be creative, as the process of reimagining is by its very nature creative and exciting, as we envision our role and contribution to a future that we all believe in. Yet at the same time, we are mindful of the hard work required to achieve the transformation needed to turn our good ideas and intentions into reality. While we are still grappling with the detail of the work ahead, we know that it entails a radical change effort. This includes examining our organizational structures and cultures to ensure that they are future fit and are enablers of agility, innovation, and responsiveness. Within our organizations, we need to understand and build the capabilities we need for the future and re-examine and redesign the processes we use in running our organizations and delivering our service offerings. Our hard and soft infrastructure may need to be adapted, upgraded, or repurposed to support our reimagined strategic intent. In our UP Vision 2025, this vision is clearly outlined through the goals that we have set ourselves to achieve in the next 15 years, 2 of which I would like to highlight at this point are positioning our strategic trajectory within a changing socio-political, economic, and higher education environment, and also acknowledging that staff and students are the university's core human capital asset. The vision further reads, social, environmental, and financial sustainability will be at the core of the university's future viability and is based on four key drivers: sustained quality, relevance, financial capacity, and deliberately harnessing the university's existing and future diversity potential. It is these two ideas that are at the core of why we are gathered here today. As we work towards positioning the institution strategically, this means we have to allow ourselves to attract the best of best when it comes to students and staff, to also ensure that in our mission to achieve this, we remain anchored to also being diverse. It is your contributions and donations that in part make this goal attainable. We are able to attract these students and offer them a place at the institution without turning them away, again due to these financial contributions. I'd like to end my address to you today by leaving you with the thoughts of American civil rights movement leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when he said, and I quote, life's persistent and most urgent question is, what are you doing for others? End quote. It is this idea that I believe all of us here today, those of you watching from different locations, share in common. I do not think we would be in academia if we were not concerned about what it is we can do for our fellow human beings. This event would not have been possible without the beginning being this very question: how can you help those in need? This is referred to in local Southern African languages as Ubuntu Voto. Knowing that I am because you are. One thing that I can confidently share is that in as much as the COVID-19 pandemic required certain amount of physical distance, we've all gotten that much closer because it is through it that we realize just how interconnected we are. As we look ahead to our collective future, I would like to encourage you all to nurture the giving and charitable spirit that lives in you. I'd like to reiterate my call once again that we continue sharing what we can with various entities set by the university, including the Solidarity Fund, so that we may continue to touch the lives of many more current and future students. Thank you once again for your generosity and for knowing that we only succeed as a collective when we remember that we are truly in this together. Thank you. So who's going to start? Any
I
volunteers?
can give it a go.
Okay, tell us who you are and
Okay.
about your background and what you studied.
Okay, so my name is Hassan Scaff. I did my BSc in Actuarial and Financial Mathematics here at Tux for 3 years. I then went on to do my honors in the same degree. And now I am working for Liberty in the corporate investment and direct distribution space.
Are you liberated financially now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, the job is good, right?
It is good. I'm enjoying it.
And it's because of education, right?
Yes, 100%.
Only at UP, right?
Only at UP. Tux of Nix.
Yeah. What was your experience at the University of Pretoria as a student?
I think I really enjoyed studying at the University of Pretoria. I feel like there's excellent facilities for all sorts of degrees. I do feel like engineering students are spoiled, but that's another topic. I think it's an amazing varsity to study at, honestly.
So you recommend it to everyone, right?
I would recommend it to everyone.
Yeah. Are you doing it currently?
I am. My sister might come here next year as well.
Okay, no, that's good. Keep it up, yeah. Yes, you are next, I guess. Yeah.
Tell you about myself.
Yeah.
I am a 23-year-old from Kalinin, a mining town far east of Pretoria. I studied BCom Financial Science, and I am currently a graduate trainee with the Development Bank of Southern Africa. Yeah.
Development Bank.
Yes.
Bank. You are cash enabled, right? Does the bank contribute scholarships to the university?
Not that I know of, but
Can you just find out?
I'll find out for you, definitely.
I'll give you my number.
Okay.
So what was your experience at the University of Pretoria as a student?
It started out very smoothly. But towards the end of my final year, that's when COVID hit, and we now had to adapt to the new normal. There was a point where I honestly thought I was not going to make it out. I didn't think I was going to reach the finish line, but yeah, I am today, an alumni, and I finished. It was amazing.
Yeah. You thinking about it retrospect, you would have made a mistake to go to another university,
Yes,
right?
yes. If I could do it again, I'd definitely come back here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you are spreading the message.
Yes.
We need the gospel to be
Yes.
heard by everybody. Okay. And you, sir?
Yeah,
You should just say, what's your name? Yeah.
my name is Boris Wamba,
Yeah.
and I'm a 22-year-old fourth-year medical student at the University of Pretoria. I'm from Cameroon originally, but I've been living here since 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who I am.
Okay. Yeah. So what was your experience as a...
My experience,
Oh, your current experience.
my current
You're
experience.
still a
I mean, I
student,
enjoy
so-
studying at the university. It's a very good university. The services provided, the staff is amazing. Every time I feel like I need somebody to talk to, every time I feel like I'm stuck and I need help, and I can always approach somebody that's helps me honestly, you know. So that's something I really appreciate about the university. I never really felt alone, and I always felt like there was somebody on my side to help me out. So it's been going great, and I really love it, and for sure recommend it to everyone else. Yeah.
So you said it's a good university. Was that a mistake? You want to say it's the best university?
Number one, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Right, yeah. So the finish line?
It's there. I just finished my fourth year. I'm going to fifth year now. 2 more years, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
So the finish line is yours,
It's,
right?
it's mine for sure. It's mine for sure.
And you believe everything will be there for you
No,
to the
it's
finish line?
it is. It's
Yeah.
it's been going. It has been the easiest route, but I'm going forward, and with the support I'm receiving, I'm really grateful, and I just keep on going. That really motivates me to keep on going even more and more. So
You
Yeah.
said support 3 times.
yeah,
Say me more about this support. Yeah.
like really the support I've received, especially from the scholarship, it's really changed my life. Like it gave me the opportunity to achieve my goals. You know, I've really wanted to study medicine from a young age. I really wanted to make a difference out here in the medical field, help the sick around me, and knowing that I'm able to get in because I have the marks, but not get my degree because of my financial background, that really hurt me a lot. But then I really kept on pushing, and really the scholarship just came through and changed me. It gave me the opportunity to realize myself and become the person I want to become. So for that, I'm very grateful.
Here you are not exactly a student. What do you do?
So I head up the division of the
Well, what's your
financial
name?
aid
Yeah.
unit. My
What's your-
name is Gugu Ihenacho. And so we work with getting the funding timeously to students. So we work with the students that you have seen here. They are part of our clientele. They would walk into my office with many different complaints. I get the I cannot register. I get the I am hungry. I get the I don't have a place to stay, and our job is to make sure that we get the funding to those students to be able to help them with that. We don't want students to be thinking about what they are going to eat or where they are going to be sleeping or where they're going to get the next textbook to be able to ace that test. So we try by all means to remove that burden from them.
Okay, yeah. So you sound like an angel to this.
A real angel.
I wouldn't say angel. They know that when they walk into my office, I give them a little flag first before I can be able to help them. I ask the tough questions. What's your GPA? I ask the tough questions. What have you done to make sure that your financial situation is a bit better? And then once we've established that, then I swoop in.
Ms. Gugu, actually helpful.
No,
She is. She definitely
You
is.
can confirm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So what would you say to the students now? What would you say were some of your most important accomplishments? 2 of you who have completed, then I'll come to you with a slightly different question.
I would say for me, it's definitely completing my degree in record time. It was a massive challenge for me, but I'm very happy that I managed and I pushed through. I think I was very, and I still am very proud to have received the scholarship fund. I always felt that scholarship students, whether they're academics or athletes, those guys that get the scholarships, I felt like they were top tier students, you know. So, I felt grateful and I was proud that I was, part of that group.
You say challenges. Can you say little more. What were the challenges before?
Challenges being that the degree itself was just difficult. Yeah, it's just a tough space to be in, and it really requires a sense of perseverance and diligence, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And
It's also obtaining my degree in record time, but the other biggest accomplishment is being part of Keep That Gold Shining. It's a mentoring organization where we help new university entrants navigate their way around the university. So I had a mentor who helped me find out about the scholarship. So if I can assist the next person, then that's the biggest thing for me. And I've been doing that, so.
So what do you think the university should do to make more students aware of the scholarship opportunities?
I feel like it's not well advertised. Like I found out about it through Ida Meyer on the Mamelodi campus. She told me to contact Marilyn. Marilyn said I should apply for financial aid. I did, and the following year, 2018, I got an email saying I'm good. So I got it. So yeah, I think it should be advertised a bit more.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, what you haven't completed, but what are your accomplishments so far, which will take you over the finish line in time?
In time, of course. Making it thus far. I mean, I just completed my 4th year, and I'm going to 5th year now. In time. So yeah, that's something I'm very proud of. You know, it also hasn't been an easy journey, but I've been pushing forward, and I'm really proud of that. Something I'm proud of as well is I was part of the 2020 MBCHB mentoring program, because I also feel like I've been able to make it this far because of the mentors I've met throughout my journey. So I feel like if I can give back as well to the students, the newly enrolled students, because most of the time when students come in, they don't know what's going on, they're very lost. So I mentor the newly enrolled students, and I tell them, you know what, it's not that bad. Stop listening to everybody telling you medicine is difficult. You know, you can do it. I motivate them. I'll give them past papers, links. I try to help them as much as I can. And that's something I'm very proud of, to help out the way I was helped. So, yeah.
So, Kuku, I have 2 questions for you arising from what she said. So where should students look to know about the financial aid possibilities?
So we have our own dedicated page in the UP website, so they can go to it's fees and funding. Then under fees and funding, we have our own dedicated tab, which is financial aid, and they will get all the information that they need regarding how to apply for financial aid. And then under the page fees and funding, we also have another one called student funding, where they can get all the information they need regarding the fund, the fund that's available that they can apply for. But we mostly encourage them to apply for UP financial aid because it's one application and it gives them access to a host of bursaries as they only apply once to the university, and then the university sorts the funds on their behalf as a middleman.
So how can staff who want to be donors get to know that they can fund a student and how much to fund and so on? Because it's one thing for the students to apply, but there needs to be money to be applied for.
Yes.
And staff, as you heard from my speech, are eager to actually fund, and again, we thank them. But are you doing a drive to staff members to say, yes, you can donate?
So yes, we are involved in a lot of drives to try and communicate the message to most staff members, especially about them becoming donors. This is one of the great initiatives like the one we have today, where we are appreciating the current one, and hopefully they will pass on the message to those that are not part of this staff donor fraternity at the moment. The staff, and to become a donor, it's very simple. A lot of people don't know that. It's actually available on the UP portal. They should go to the HR portlets there. And then if you go there, then you go to My Remuneration. That's where you see your pay slip and your tax certificate. There you have another tile there that says, how do you become a contributor? Then you select there, and then from the drop-down list, you can select either the Solidarity Fund, or there's another fund that is available there. And then the money is just easily deducted from your pay slip, and then you get the tax benefits, and you never have to worry about a debit order. You never have to worry about getting the tax certificate because they calculate it for you at payroll. So we try and simplify that process as much as we possibly can.
So How did the funding you received from UP assist you in come to the funding specifically? How do you think you sort of covered the generality of it and you said the funding was really crucial. What specifically did you need funding for? Was it just the tuition fees, the res fees?
Both tuition and res. I remember after I got my email in 2016, that's when I matriculated, stating that I had been accepted. I was excited, but it was short-lived because now I started stressing about funding. The following year, my parents made a plan for the whole of 2017. They managed to raise money for me to go to school. But for 2019, I did not have a plan. And like I said earlier on, I met with Ida, who spoke to Marilyn. I applied and things just went well. Honestly, I don't think I'd be sitting here. I don't think I would have graduated had it not been for this scholarship. Yeah.
So it was really critical to
Yes.
you being at the university. Who is this Ida and Marilyn? Say.
Ida is on, I'm not sure if she's still on the Mamelodi campus, but she worked at that campus, and Marilyn works at financial aid on the Hatfield campus. Yeah.
Okay. She must be one
Marilyn
of Gogo's.
Abrahams.
So it's not
Yes.
Gogo, it's Marilyn.
But they work together.
Just checking. So how is financial aid currently?
Helping me.
If the financial aid went away, what would happen to you?
Honestly speaking, I wouldn't be able to finish my degree. I was raised by a single mother, and it hasn't been easy for us. And you know, also when I got admitted into university, I was like very excited, and I'm very optimistic. So I just went in. I'm like, you know what, I'll do as much as I can, and hopefully something will come to it. But I really just pushed hard. But the funding really did help me. The day I got my email, I was on the verge of financial exclusion, actually. So it was like a miracle come through. I was like, you know, I was studying for a test I knew I was not going to write. You know, that's how crazy it was. And I was like, you know what, I'll just keep on going. I'll be optimistic till the very end. And I went on my email, and I just saw the email. I was like, I was very surprised. So it was very emotional for me, and that is what has kept me going. For sure.
Thank you.
I didn't really have massive academic projects, but I will say that the financing definitely takes a weight off your shoulders when you're studying, because I think neither me or my parents had to worry about financing my varsity fees. And so all I had to do was just bury my head in the books, make sure I work hard, study hard, and with the financing I could do that easily.
So what would you say if a person who contributed to your funding stepped into the room and said here, what would you say to them?
Thank you.
Yeah,
A big thank you.
Big time,
Because
yeah.
I don't think they are aware of
The
the impact that their contributions have in our lives, yeah.
The impact is massive. They really gave us an opportunity to realize ourselves, to achieve our goals.
Yeah.
That's a big, honest thing. The best genuine take from us. Yeah.
Google, yeah, what would you say to
I
people
would
that help you write positive emails? Not, no, we have no funding for you.
I would definitely say a big thank you for making my job that much easier. It's very difficult working in the financial aid space because always the demand always outweighs the supply. We have a lot more students that need assistance than we have bursaries available for them. So I think I'd give them a big hug. They definitely deserve one.
So what else would you say to young people who are applying to universities knowing that, in fact, the university can come through with some funding for you?
I think I would say that they shouldn't be discouraged if they don't have the financing. They should just apply, ask for help, because there'll always be someone that's willing to point them in the right direction.
Exactly.
So Google, it's
For me, I think the main thing is just for students to, as the financial aid office, we wish that they would come to us on time. I wouldn't want them to wait until the parent has lost the job. I wouldn't want them to wait until they are financially blocked from the system and unable to view their results, and only then they come for assistance. I think the earlier you come in, the earlier we can assist you, and the earlier we can try and remove that burden of you stressing about whether you are going to be able to attend those lectures or write that test like how Boris was, was contemplating. So we wouldn't want students to go through that. Our offices are open. The financial aid system to apply for financial aid is open throughout the year. Even now for 2022, we are open. So prospective students are able to apply for financial aid, and also current students that currently have bursaries right now, but they are uncertain whether they will get that renewal next year or not. We encourage all of them to please apply. Especially those ones with the lower GPAs, with the higher household income, doing the qualifications that a lot of people think that don't have bursaries. That is what the staff donation is actually coming in and filling that gap. We are able to fund the students that are having a GPA of 40 and you're 50. And the amazing thing that happens is that once we get them that funding, they're able to join those 75s and the 80s, because then the burden of stressing about finances is removed and they're able to concentrate on their studies.
So I know you just started working now, but knowing what other people's contributions did for you, would you consider also one day becoming a donor?
I think I really would, honestly, because I feel like all students, all students do want to study. They just need someone to open that door for them, and then they'll take it and move on with it.
So I think you can do it like personally, but also you can get liberty. I'll
have to go back and speak to them, but
I'd also contribute. If I can do for another student what was done for me, I'd definitely do it.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, okay, that's the spirit, because I think the way it happens is that, for those of us who get privileged from getting that funding, it's good to keep the pot going by also making whatever contribution we can. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Kuku, what would you say to your colleagues who have yet to donate but are thinking about it?
I would just like to appeal to them. It's not about the amount that you are contributing. It's about contributing. It's about the contribution itself. Because you might look at your 100 Rand and you're like, what can 100 Rand achieve? But then if we are 20 and we are contributing 100 Rand, that is a tuition fee for a student, and that student, you have made a huge difference in their lives. So for me, it's not about the amount, and I know a lot of people, they might look at their 50 Rand and look down on it, but it makes a huge impact on the student's life, and also in fulfilling a dream of a child, and also making a difference in the community that we live in. So I would definitely encourage them to contribute, no matter how little it is. That's how the fund actually got to be what it is. It's little contributions from a lot of people that makes a huge impact on an individual's life.
Thank you. Yeah. Anything else you want to say? Otherwise, you are next.
There's nothing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing your stories.
Thank you very much for having us.
Inspire others. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor. My name is Hanan Finkel. I'm the Deputy Director in Institutional Advancements, and I want to end by echoing Professor Cooper's remarks and say a massive thank you to our staff donors. As you can see, your kindness changes the lives of our students. So Vice Chancellor and Principal Professor Cooper, thank you for hosting the event today and for also being a staff donor yourself and for always championing the cause of our students. I would like to thank our panel of students for inspiring us with their beautiful stories. I wish you much success. And finally, a big thank you to Taneo Maseko, Josiah Mavundla, and Gugu Inachu for putting this event together. Thank you again for joining us, and goodbye.